This is the stamping elephant. Creatures. He beat down the corn seedlings, crushed the lilacs, and stamped on the morning glory flowers. "We must stop all this stamping," said Goat, Snake, and Mouse. Goat said, "Yes, we must stop it, but you can't do anything, Mouse." And Snake said, "Of course she can't. Oh, no, you can't do anything, Mouse." Mouse said nothing. She sat on the grass and listened while Goat told his plan. "Scare him, that's what I'll do," said the Goat. "Oh, good, good, good. I'll scare old Elephant, frighten him out of his wits, I will." He found an empty turtle shell and hung it up on a low branch. Then he beat on the shell with his horns. "This is my elephant scaring drum. I shall beat it. Clatter, clatter," he said. "Elephant will run away. Oh, good, good, good." Stamp, stamp, stamp. Along came Elephant. Goat tossed his head and ran at the shell. Clatter, clatter, beating it with his horns. "Oh, what a clatter I'm making," he bleated. "Oh, what a terrible elephant scaring horrible clatter." Elephant said, "What a nasty little noise." He took the shell in his long trunk, lifted it high up into the air, and banged it down on Goat's hairy head. Then he went on his way stamping. Mouse said nothing, but she thought, "Poor old Goat looks sad standing there with a shell on his head." And then she sat down on the grass and listened while Snake told his plan. "I shall make myself into a rope," said the Snake. "Yes, yes, yes, that's what I'll do." He looped his body around a tree trunk. "Now I'm an elephant catching rope. Yes, 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 that's what I am. I shall hold old Elephant tight by the legs. I shan't let him go. No, I shan't let him go till he promises not to stamp any more." Stamp, stamp, stamp. Along came Elephant. Snake hid in the long grass. Elephant stopped beside a tree, propped up his two white trunks on a branch, and settled him for a nice little sleep. Snake came gliding out of the grass. He looped his long body around the tree trunk and around old Elephant's legs as well. His teeth met his tail at the end of the loop, and he bit on his tail tip, holding fast. "I have looped old Elephant's leg to the tree trunk. Now I must hold on tight," he thought. Elephant woke and tried to move, but with only 3 legs he was helpless. "Why are you holding my legs?" he shouted. Snake kept quiet. He could not speak. If he opened his mouth, the loop would break. Elephant put his trunk to the ground and filled it with tickling yellow dust. Then he snorted and blew the dust at Snake. Snake wriggled. He wanted to sneeze. Elephant put his trunk to the ground and sniffed up more of the tickling dust. "Poof!" he said, and he blew it at Snake. Snake held his breath and wriggled and squirmed, trying his hardest not to sneeze, but the dust was too tickly. He closed his eyes and opened his mouth. Achoo! The loop was broken. Elephant said, "What a nasty little cold!" And he went on his way stamping. Mouse said nothing, but she thought. Snake looked sad lying there sneezing his head off. Then she sat on the grass and made her own plan. Stamp, stamp, stamp. Along came Elephant. Mouse peeped out of her hole and watched him. He lay on his side, stretched out his legs, and settled himself for a nice long sleep. Mouse breathed deeply and stiffened her whiskers. She waited till Elephant closed his eyes. Then she crept through the grass like a little gray shadow, her bright brown eyes watching Elephant's trunk. She made her way slowly around his great feet and tiptoed past his shining tusks. She trotted along by his leathery trunk until she was close to its tender pink tip. Then suddenly, skip! She darted backwards and sat in the end of the elephant's trunk. Elephant opened his eyes and said, "Can't I have any peace in this jungle? First it's a silly clattering goat, then it's a sillier sneezing snake, and now it's a mouse, the smallest of them all, and quite the silliest. That's what I think." He looked down his long gray trunk and said, "Oh, yes, I know you are there, little mouse, because I see your nose and whiskers. Out you get. Do you hear, little mouse?" "Eek," said Mouse. "I won't get out unless you promise not to stamp." "Then I'll shake you out," Elephant shouted, and he swung his trunk from side to side. "Thank you," squeaked Mouse. "I'm having a ride. It's almost like flying. Thank you, Elephant." Elephant shouted, "I'll drown you out." He stamped to the river and waded in, dipping the end of his trunk in the water. "Thank you," squeaked Mouse. "I'm having a swim. It's almost like diving. Thank you, Elephant." Elephant stood on the bank, thinking. He could not pull down the leaves for his dinner. He could not give himself a bath. He could not live with a mouse in his trunk. "Please, little mouse, get out of my trunk, please," he said. "Will you promise not to stamp?" asked Mouse. "No," said Elephant. "Then this is what I shall do," said Mouse, and she tickled his trunk with her tail. "Now, will you promise not to stamp?" "No," said the Elephant. "Then this is what I shall do," said Mouse, and she nipped his trunk with her sharp little teeth. "Yes!" squealed Elephant. "Yes! Yes! Yes!" Mouse ran back to her hole and waited. Step, step, step. Along came Elephant, walking gently on great gray feet. He saw the tiny creatures and waited until they scuttled away. He saw the little creeping creatures and stepped very carefully over their tails. Elephant doesn't stamp anymore. Someone has stopped him, the creatures said. Someone big and brave and clever. Goat said, I think Mouse did it. And Snake said, oh, yes, that is right. Mouse did it. And not far away, at the foot of a tree, a small, contented, tired little mouse sat on the grass and smiled to herself.